as I came down through Dublin city at the hour of 12 at night. Who should I spy but a Spanish lady washing her feet by candlelight? Wash she washed them, then she dried them over a fire of angry coal. In all my life I ne'er did see a maid so neat about the soul. Whack full of tooraloora, laddie, whack full of tooraloora, lay. Whack full of tooraloora, laddie, whack full of tooraloora, lay.
Well, the Johnstons formed as a family band originally. 3 family members, 2 sisters, Adrian and Lucy, and their brother Michael. They formed a local band in their town, Slane, which is about 25 miles from Dublin, in 1965. They made a recording which went to #1 in the Irish hit parade called The Travelling People. The song was instantly popular, people could relate to it, and it's a nice melody.
We are free-born clan of the travelling people, got no fixed abode, with nomads we are numbered.
First it was Adrian, Lucy, and Michael Johnston. And then later in the 60s, Michael Johnston left and Mick Maloney and then later Paul Brady came in.
We had a kind of a charmed existence, really. We went from nothing to being right at the top, and didn't have to do a lot of hard work in between.
To what would you attribute to the band's success?
The main thing was that we were singing 4-part harmony, two fellas and two women. That kind of harmony singing, the Beatles were doing it. It was big in British rock. And we did very sophisticated 4-part harmonies, and it was a very pleasant kind of warm sound, and I think people liked it. It had its limitations, but at what we did, I think we were very good.
They did a lot of touring around England and Scandinavia and in Ireland in the late 60s, and they put out a bunch of albums for Transatlantic, which was a big record label back then. They actually put out 2 records on the same day. One was kind of folk traditional stuff, and one was more kind of pop music, like late 60s pop music.
I am a roving sporting blade, they call me Jack of all trades. I always found my chief delight in courting pretty fair maids.
It was a great time and a great journey, and a great way to see a country, to play like in England or Ireland, to play music for people. It's just a wonderful thing to do.
They toured around for a long time, and then in the early 70s they broke up.
We broke up in America. I left the group here in 1971. Basically, we sort of run a course, and I left and ended up going to university and studying. Then Paul Brady left. He stayed on for a while, and then he left about a year and a half after I did. And the group was no more after that. Adrian continued with a sporadic attempt at a solo artist career, and then she basically vanished with her husband, who was a person that we didn't particularly care for, and they vanished. And then years later we found out that she had died very mysteriously, that she had a fall and had broken her neck in Minneapolis, but nobody had known. Nobody knew until 10 years after her death. Her death had basically hidden from her family and from all her friends. The official cause of death was accidental death, and
Are there reasons to think otherwise?
Well, the fact that it's hidden for 10 years,
Right.
we prefer to think of it as a very mysterious passing. It's 30 years after her death, and her family want to have a reunion tribute to her. She was one of the first women singers out there, a very strong person, very strong singer. And then Paul and myself thought, well, let's go one step further, and we talked to Lucy, and we thought, well, we can't have a reunion per se, but let's get some of Ireland's top women singers who would have known about her, maybe been influenced by her. Let's get them to sing some of her songs, and let's give it one more shot, and so we will next June, and this will be, in a sense, we'll close the chapter in some way.
Johnstons were kind of a group that gave rise to that second generation of bands in the 70s, but they left a great legacy, and they were very influential.
The Johnstons were very much loved. I mean, there's miles of smiles, and there's nobody had a bad word to say about us, really.
The Johnstons really will be remembered as one of the greatest Irish folk bands of their time.
it was kind of left hanging, left open there over all these years because of the nature of what happened to Adrian. It's, you know, it's very, when people do a disappearing act, you always wonder, don't you?
Walk me to the corner, our steps will always rhyme. Hey, that's the way to say goodbye.